Hey everyone, First T here. Thanks for checking out this YouTube channel.
We'd like to welcome the 2021 CJ Cup at Summit winner Rory McIlroy to the interview room here at the Summit Club. Rory, just talk us through that final round and highlighting that 20th win on tour.
I think coming into today, Ricky was a couple ahead. Sort of expected someone to come from the pack and shoot a low one, and that was Colin. Colin got from 14 to 24. It's one of those days. You're going to get chances. You're going to have birdie putts, maybe a couple eagle looks on the par fives, and it's just a day to stay patient. And I really didn't try to look at the leaderboards too much, especially on the front nine. On the back nine, a little bit. I had a look after I made the eagle on 14 just to see where I was, and I saw I had a 2-shot lead at that point. So, it was. I've played really well this week. Highlighted by the 10 under yesterday, but to follow that up with a really solid run today. I made one bogey today on the par 4 fourth hole. Actually wasn't a bad putt. I 3-putted, but the second putt it was more of a misread than a bad putt. But apart from that, just played really solid golf. Just kept giving myself birdie looks, and thankfully made enough of them to get the job done.
Awesome. With that, we'll open it up to questions for media on the line. First up, Steve DiMaglio with USA Today.
Rory, what was your most important shot today?
I think when people look back, they'll probably say that the putt on 14, but I think the one shot which was probably part skill, part luck, was the third shot on 10. I got that ball up and down on 10 for par, which kept momentum for me, which is sort of the stuff that I hadn't been doing for the last few months. And there, it doesn't seem like much, but those things are huge in rounds like this. And then because of that par save, I went and hit a great 5-iron into 11, made birdie on 12 with a good tee shot there. So, just because of that par save, I didn't feel like I needed to force the issue on the next couple of holes, and that was massive.
And when did you know that Morikawa was coming, and does that do anything to your mind?
I saw I think when I eagled 14, there was a board on the right side there, and I looked and I saw he was at 20. He was at 22 playing the last. So I got a 3-shot lead over him. And then the next time I looked at a board was walking down 16, and I saw he'd eagled the last. So then I knew, okay, I need to hit some good golf shots on the way in, make a couple of solid pars, and I was able to do that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next up, Greg Robertson with Las Vegas Review-Journal.
Congratulations, Rory.
Thanks.
You may be a little biased with this question, but I'm wondering, after playing this course for a week, what you think of the Summit as a venue for you guys. It averaged just a little over 68. Just a ton of birdies. Is this a legitimate test for you guys, and is it some place you'd like to play again?
Yeah, I think at the end of this week, I think PGA Tour members would be pretty happy to just give the place back to the members and to Discovery. It's a decent test. I think if you keep it on the short grass, there's obviously a bunch of birdie opportunities, and I think with Vegas being a little bit at altitude, and the course not really being that long to begin with, it's probably a little benign for a PGA Tour event. But with everything that's happening, CJ having to go to Shadow Creek last year, the scoring was low there. The scoring was low last week at Summerlin. Scoring's low this week here. It's just, you get desert golf and you get the best players in the world. We're going to make a lot of birdies.
And then you talked about this a little on Wednesday, the 20th win. How significant is that number to you?
It's pretty significant. I think when you can do something to achieve lifetime membership on tour, I still need to play another couple of years after this one to actually get it. But that's great, so by the time I'm 34, 35, not having to worry about, minimums, on tour and being able to really set a schedule, and especially at that point when kids will be getting into school age and maybe wanting to spend a little bit more time at home. That's important. When you look to the bigger things in life. Getting to that level to I can pick and choose where I play nowadays anyway, but that makes it even better and less of a burden, I guess.
All right. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, Doug Ferguson with the Associated Press.
Rory, congratulations. I wonder if you could talk a little bit more about 10, what you faced, and tell me if I'm wrong, but you didn't look terribly thrilled as it was in the air, but I may have misread that.
You did not misread that, Doug. I think you've watched enough golf in your lifetime to know that I wasn't pleased with it. I've sort of had this bad habit recently of when I've short-sided myself and have to come over a bunker, I've predominantly left them short. So I've tried to pick a more aggressive landing spot. So even just saying to yourself, just land it by the pin, and if it rolls out 20 feet, at least give yourself a putt. And that was what I tried to do there, but it came off a little high and not as much forward as I thought. And I honestly thought I plugged it in the face of the bunker. And it carried the bunker by 2 yards and got a nice little shoot forward off the fringe, and it was a tap-in par. So it goes back to what I said on Wednesday. To win golf tournaments, you need a little bit of luck here and there, and today on 10, that was my little bit of luck.
You've done this before. I mean, this kind of reminds me of Quayle, your first win when you were 9 back going into the weekend and dropped low ones. Do you have to remind yourself that you're capable of that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, I knew, I shot, I was 9 under through 2 days here and didn't feel like I played my best. I left a few out there. I made a triple bogey on the first day, so I knew there was a low weekend in me. And then to shoot, the most of the work was done yesterday to shoot the 10 under and get myself into the last grip. I knew today it was just a matter of, just keep applying the pressure, keep hitting fairways, keep hitting greens. And if I do that, I feel like I would have a really good chance.
And okay, then last thing for me, you talked a little bit yesterday about routine, mental stuff, visualization, things you're working on.
Yeah.
Is there any way you can elaborate a little bit more on what you're trying to do, and is any of it post-Ryder Cup related?
Yeah, I think so I don't even think it's post-Ryder Cup related. I think it's just post the last 6 months related in terms of I need to, I said to Kira out there on the broadcast that I feel like the last couple of weeks I've realized that just being me is good enough. And maybe the last few months I was not trying to be someone else, but maybe trying to add things to my game or take things away from my game. And, I know that, when I do the things that I do well, this is what I'm capable of. I'm capable of, winning a lot of events on the PGA Tour and, being the best player in the world, something we talked about at the start of the week as well. So it's just a matter of me getting back to playing golf. I'm playing golf my way. And that starts with being creative and being visual, and maybe sort of, sifting through the technical thoughts and not maybe being as technical with it.
Thanks. Can't you found the words?
It only took me 6 days.
Next up, Ben Everill with PGAtour.com.
Who are you trying to beat, mate?
What's that?
Who are you trying to beat?
I don't know.
What I wanted to ask is, obviously 20 is a big number, and you've got there, and you said you need some time to make that same thing. But where to from here? What's on the horizon now, and what's your next goal?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a great way to start the season. I've got nothing coming up for the next 4 weeks. I've got 4 weeks at home before I go to Dubai. But it's 4 weeks to build on what's just happened here. Work on some, I think that's the thing as well. The last few months, I feel like I've never worked as hard, and haven't. I got so little out of it, but I didn't get what I wanted to get out of it. Where, I just need to just be a little better with what I practice and when I practice. And as I said, the whole week leading up to this, all I did on the range was try to visualize every shot that I hit, try to see draws, see fades, see high, see low, and really just play around with it. And the more and more I did that, and the more it feels comfortable on the course doing that. And that's playing golf. That's just getting back to hitting shots. And when it boils down to it, that's all you need to do out there or hit the shots. And sometimes I forgot that in a quest to try to be too perfect, probably. But this week was a great reminder that you don't need to be perfect to be a great golfer.
And just a quick one. What's the problem? Mental paper was research. I don't know if you put it back in that.
Repeat that again, Ben.
What's that?
Could you repeat that?
Sorry. But I'm just saying we. That Kate Whitfield was paper was later told.
Hey Ben,
Another.
Ben, can you just type your question in the chat? You keep cutting in and out.
First of the question.
All right, next up we'll go to Daniel Rappaport with Golf Digest.
Congratulations, Rory.
Thank you, Daniel.
20 wins is obviously a remarkable achievement. I'm curious, you were obviously a very decorated amateur player. There was a lot of hype, but your expectations when you turned pro, did you expect to win in bunches out here? Or like, I guess another way to put this question is, if you would tell 17-year-old Rory McIlroy that he'd have 20 wins by 32, what would his reaction be?
I'd say that would be pretty good. I guess like it's all relative, right? So I remember I turned pro in 2007, and I went down and played the Australian Masters at the end of that year. I got my European Tour card, and the first 2 days I was paired with Aaron Baddeley, and Aaron Baddeley was you might have to look this up, but I think he was 18th in the world. And I remember playing with him for the first 2 days and thinking, oh my God, this guy is 18th in the world. How cool would that be? And, I was sitting here this week before the start of this tournament as the 14th player in the world, and basically people wondering if I was going to retire. It's all relative. And I just think as a kid starting out, I remember those 2 days with Aaron Baddeley. We both played really well. He was again, he was having a great year. He got to number 18 in the world. And I as an 18-year-old really looked up to him and looked up to that. And thinking hopefully one day that'll be me. So I guess the answer to your question is, that's what I thought was an achievement at the start of my career when I turned pro was, to get into the top 20 in the world. So I've surpassed all of that. But as you go on, your goals, you have to reframe everything, and you have to keep resetting your goals. And as I've went along in my career, I've had to do that because you just, you keep going. You can't just, stagnate and stay the same. You have to try to keep getting better and keep doing more things. And, I think that's what this is. Golf is just about moving forward, and there's always next week, and you're always trying to get better, so yeah, that's a very long-winded way of saying 20 wins seemed like a long way away whenever I turned pro, but and I think this is probably 30th worldwide if you count European Tour wins. So it's been a pretty nice career so far.
I would say so. And just a quick follow-up. You mentioned talking about that mental shift of realizing that being you was enough. What prompted that moment of clarity? When did that realization come to you?
Probably the Sunday singles at the Ryder Cup. I went out against Xander, and all I wanted to do was win the point, right? That's all I could do. Couldn't do anything else. Hadn't done much else the rest of the week. And I went out there and I won my point by doing whatever I could. I wasn't trying to be perfect. I wasn't trying to hit shots that I wasn't comfortable hitting, or I went out there to try to win my match, and I did. And I think part of the sort of emotion at the end of it was to do with that week, but it was also probably to do with the last few months in terms of searching to try to get better, and sort of the realization that I don't need to search for anything. It's all right here.
night.
Thank you.
Back to Doug Ferguson with the Associated Press.
Rory, I was just curious, I counted up 10 times where you started a season with a chance to win and it didn't. I think 11 of them were at Abu Dhabi. Does it actually feel like the start of the season to you in the middle of October? And does this change anything for you going forward in terms of how you start next year?
Yeah, it's a hard one because yes, it does feel like the first win of the season on the PGA Tour, but it's the second win of my year, so it's a hard one. But it doesn't change anything. It's obviously a great way to start the season in the US. But no, it doesn't change anything. It's it's good to get another win this year. And I sort of go on the calendar year in terms of wins, so it was nice to get a second one this year.
It's 5 straight seasons on the tour anyway, not to confuse you with the wraparound, with the win. Is that underappreciated, today's climate, do you think?
Yeah, I mean DJ went like a decade, doing it, so that's pretty impressive. But yeah, I think to get a win, most years that you play, I still want to get back to that point where I'm knocking off 3, 4, 5 wins a year. But to have multiple wins this year on a year that I would say has been a bit of a down year for me, it's still been pretty good.
Thank you.
Last couple questions here. Adam Schuback with Golf Week.
Hey Rory, when you were sitting out at the Ryder Cup and disappointed with your play, at any point were you considering maybe I'll just shut it down for the rest of the year and not even play in this event?
Yeah. So on the Saturday night of the Ryder Cup, I was done with golf. I didn't want to see golf again until 2022, and then I talked about that Sunday singles match, and then that sort of sparked a little bit of a flame again. I was like, I think I maybe figured something out here. Let me play a few more times before the season's done. So, yeah, Saturday night of the Ryder Cup, I certainly wasn't going to be here, and then Sunday night of the Ryder Cup, I thought, go to Vegas and go to CJ and try to build on, this little bit of a breakthrough that I've had. So, yeah, a little change of schedule there.
Well, we've seen some guys this season end long victory droughts. How close do you think Ricky is to joining that group?
Yeah, he's close. He's not that far away. I think everyone's seen how he played this week. Obviously, things didn't quite go his way today, but he didn't hit. I was keeping an eye on him. Ricky's, he's a close friend of mine, and I want to see him do well. So I was keeping a close eye on his game today as well, just to see how he played. And there's maybe a couple of loose shots in there, but he hit the 5-iron he hit into 11 was all I needed to see. He hit an awesome 5-iron into 11, and to play a shot like that, in the final round with pressure and still having a chance to win, I think that means his game's coming around. So all I needed to see was that one shot in 11, and it was a pure golf shot. And if he can keep repeating that swing, and he'll be back to where he wants to be.
Thanks, Rory. Congrats.
Thank you.
All right, with that, we'll close out. Rory, congratulations once again.
Thank you.